G'day YouTube viewer, g'day bikers. Recently I did a video looking at why smaller capacity motorcycles such as the Honda GB350, Triumph Speed 400 and Scrambler 400X, Royal Enfield Hunter 350, Meteor 350, Bullet 350, Classic 350 and Guerrilla 450 are suddenly so popular, and asked for input so I could do a follow-up video, and here are the reasons viewers of the channel gave. I'll link the first video to the end of this one and would like to thank everyone who provided such valuable input. Not sure if contributors were happy to be named, so I'm going to generalise the conversation here and let you read the comments from the first video if you'd like to explore and respond to specific points raised. In summary, here are the main reasons given for why these bikes are flying out of the dealer showrooms. I understand the Triumph Speed 400 was the biggest selling motorcycle in the UK last year, and GB350S was the most sold bike in January. And the CB350 Highness has been a big seller in India since it was the first bike in the range Honda released several years ago. Looking through the comments from my video 2 weeks ago, riders said it was because bikes like the GB are easily serviceable, frugal, affordable, and look like bikes of the past. One really interesting comment was about how riding habits have changed over the decades, and now fewer people use bikes as their only means of essential transport. And because they are now more of a hobby than a necessity, they are increasingly used for weekend rides and meetups rather than longer distance commuting. And as the age of the biking community increases due to less interest from younger generations and less disposable income, older riders are gravitating towards lighter, older style bikes which remind them of their early days of motorcycling. And with less freeway or highway use, there is less need for significant power or speed. Comfort also becomes more important with age, which is one of the reasons why sports bikes are losing the appeal they once enjoyed. In most cases, it was suggested maturity means easing back, slowing down, and taking more time to admire the scenery and smell the roses, so to speak. And while fuel efficiency is important, it was suggested purchase price, service costs, and insurance premiums are probably bigger factors. Add to that, bikes like the GB and Hunter ooze the style of the late 70s many bikers enjoyed when they started riding. The Guerrilla and Speed 400 are slightly more modern but still reflect a popular era when many of today's bikers started riding in the 80s and 90s, so that genre is also popular, which is a major reason why Triumph's 400cc bikes were top sellers last year. The viewer who made that point said Royal Enfield's Guerrilla 450 reminded him of Yamaha's old RD350, but for his age group the GB350 styling was even more appealing. The economy of smaller capacity, lower horsepower bikes was identified as probably their biggest selling point. One regular viewer suggested that could partly be some backlash from brands continually releasing bigger and more powerful motorcycles over the last decade, and riders increasingly finding them more cumbersome, expensive, and requiring higher maintenance. They said you just have to look at the second-hand market for large capacity bikes to see the impact. A quick look suggests smaller bikes are holding their value more, but of course there are always exceptions as certain bikes hit a sweet spot that see them always in high demand and attracting top dollar. Another point was that speed limits are more strictly enforced in many parts of the world, especially in more populated areas. So there is not much point in having a big engine with massive horsepower if the speed limit is only 80 or 100 kilometers per hour and is heavily enforced. The same viewer said for many riders, though, their choice of what to buy really comes down to price. To quote them directly, a lot of people can't afford $15,000 for a bike. So that brings us back to those bikes I listed at the start of this video, which are quite affordable. And it seems manufacturers are watching and listening to the market. It's great to see Honda introducing the GB350 and Hornet 1000 at very competitive prices as more brands reconsider their pricing. Another regular viewer said bang for the buck was increasingly a big factor in many people's purchasing decisions. They observed there has definitely been a shift towards a different genre of bikes in recent years, being explored by different demographics. But they said there are still many factors to consider, such as how the golden era of sports bikes, MotoGP and superbikes now all but gone. However, in contrast to an earlier opinion, they feel the popularity of smaller, more affordable machines is introducing a new generation of motorcycle enthusiasts to the biking scene. Suggests maybe this trend towards smaller bikes is appealing more to potential younger riders as well as seasoned ones. And this new trend from the manufacturers will see more people in their late teens and early 20s start riding, particularly in urban areas. Another experienced rider cited ease of use for first-time riders as a big factor, along with fuel efficiency and affordability. They didn't feel leader bikes really appealed to the younger generation anymore. Another regular viewer said the answer to why the sudden increase in popularity of smaller bikes is not necessarily going to be clear is because it is likely not to be one thing. There are likely several reasons. They said a lot of bikers still do love more powerful machines and won't buy smaller single-cylinder motorcycles. Then there are others who have ridden bigger bikes for many years but would like to relive the experience and feeling they got when they started riding on lower capacity machines. In that case, it's not about speed, but about the nostalgic feeling a certain bike gives. Another mature rider said as they get older, it was getting harder to hold up or pick up a larger, heavier bike, and that has taken some of the fun out of motorcycling. They now find bikes with a lower seat height and less weight more appealing. More speed restrictions and enforcement have also made them want to slow down and plod along more on a smaller bike. Anyway, these are some of the reasons expressed following that recent video. Thanks for watching, and thanks to all those who commented. Of course, we haven't exhausted this topic or debate. We'd love to read more of your views in the comment section below, and maybe we'll explore the subject further soon. If you did enjoy this video, could I please ask you to consider giving it a thumbs up? And if you haven't subscribed yet and would like to be alerted to future videos, I would love to have you on board. I really appreciate the support for what I'm trying to do here, which is share easy to take in information, experiences and reviews about bikes and biking. Have a wonderful day, and until next time, happy riding.